Thank you. So thank you all so much for coming today. I hope you enjoyed the first act. We'll be leading this panel, which will be the start of all the panels that will be coming. I'm really, really grateful to be here with three incredible people who will all introduce themselves in a minute. But this is Julieta. Big cheer. Woo!
Hola, hola.
Anuna. Woo! And Nella. So today what we're going to be talking about is our panel is called Next Gen, Building a New System Now. And what that pretty much means is that, well, as you can all see, we're quite young. I like to think I'm still quite young. And what we want to do is we want to talk about why it's important that we're leading the face of the future. It's our future that matters, and it's our future that's being destroyed. We see at COP right now, the people that should be in the room aren't in the room. And that, at the heart of that is a wellbeing economy. And what a wellbeing economy means that people like all of you here today, people like all of us here come from all over the world and are able to exist freely and live lives to the fullest potential. So that's what we're going to be talking to today. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. So I'm going to pass over right now to Julieta. Do you want to tell me a bit about why you're passionate about being here and why this cause matters to you?
Sure. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great night. Do you know where Chile is? It's a pretty normal question. Chile is that one long, long country at the end of the world, and that's the country I live right now. And you know, right now I'm questioning if that 15 hours of flight are worth it to be here at COP, to be here learning and experiencing all this, having the opportunity to meet such amazing people, such amazing activists, and ask myself if this COP is actually the place where unreal life is going to take place. So, my name is Julieta Martinez. I'm 18 years old. I'm an activist for climate justice and gender equality from Chile. And why I'm here today, you know, I got interested in education when I was 8 years old. I started learning that in my country, there's so many people that today doesn't have access to internet, doesn't have access to education. And also, I would like to know if you ever heard about the concept sacrifice zone. No? Doesn't sound familiar. I'm just going to explain it simply to you. A sacrifice zone is a place that is completely, and I repeat, completely contaminated. The water is polluted, the air is polluted, everything is polluted. And I started working with young girls there, that basically what they told me is, Julieta, I can't go to school. I had been like 2, 3, 5 months, I can't go to school because I have a toxic cloud in my head. But on the other side, please don't shut out the companies because my dad's gonna lose their job. And I don't know what to do. And I don't know if actually the people listen to me or listening to my story. And that's when I realized that I'm such a privileged girl. I'm such a privileged girl to have access to education and internet, have the opportunity to be here. So what I want to tell you all today is that we know today that an educated person not can only improve their quality of life, but enables them to change the world. So I want to take a step farther. I want to say that not only education is fundamental to solve the climate crisis, but girls' education is a climate solution. 70% of the world's poorest people are women. 80% of climate refugees are women and girls. Girls that don't have access to internet, doesn't have access to education, and feel abandoned by the system. But still, what if they learn about their sexual and reproductive rights, about climate resilience, about climate circular economy? They can empower themselves. They can empower the community. They can make real changes. So that's why I'm here today, because I know that education is fundamental. I know girls' education is fundamental. And today, the voices of the South must be heard. We don't want other people talking for us. We want to have the space, we want to have their voice, and we want to show that if we work together, if the North with the South find the space to make real changes, real collaboration, we can move forward and achieve real sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julieta. I think that speaks to what everyone thinks here, that being on stages like this, we all have privilege, we all have power, and it's our job to amplify the voices of people who can't be heard now. And I think that was a beautiful thing you've just said. So give it up for Julieta. Thank you. Anuna, do you want to come in on that and just kind of add about why you're passionate and build on what Juliet has said? I know you've done a few talks before, so I feel like you've got quite good synergy, so this will be quite good.
Yeah, hello everybody. Thank you. That was absolutely beautiful, Julieta. I'm Anuna Dwever. I'm a Belgian climate and human rights activist, and I started my activism, and I'm going to try and talk slow so that you can interpret it. I started my activism because Belgium was doing a shit job when it came to climate policies. So in 2018, I started the idea of striking, like Greta Thunberg in Sweden, and we came with thousands of people on the streets for weeks on end, 20 weeks on end, until we had the elections. And a huge international climate movement started to exist called Fridays for Future. So I'm working in the Belgian department, but also in the international department. And I am here today to attend COP for 2 weeks because we need to put a fuckload of political pressure to actually get to where we need to be. The policies that our world leaders are currently defending in their super long, ridiculous speeches is a world that is literally uninhabitable for millions of people. So our leaders are being extremely irresponsible, and I see this in all the meetings that I have also with leaders one-on-one. And the only thing that will change them, the only thing that will change the course that we are going towards right now is the immense pressure that we can put as humanity. So I am kind of here to call all of you out to not applaud, but to join us in the march. There's been 2 strikes already. We need to keep striking. We need to keep the pressure high. And I hope I'll see you on the streets.
Thank you. I feel the passion, and yeah, I will definitely be coming and following you through every strikes now coming for the future. Nella, do you want to talk a bit about your experiences?
Yeah, for sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Nella, and I come not too far away right now. I'm studying in Sterling. I got elected as union president, which is such a great thing at the university, you know, to be able to bring that component of the youth, you know, of like progress and amazing ideas, innovation to old people in a room that certainly do not see the urgency of the problem. The reason why is I got to secure a consultation on our university's sustainability plan, which was amazing. I was so happy to see that. But actually, once we were in the room discussing, they were asking like, oh, should we actually push a little bit for net zero a little bit earlier? Maybe 2040, maybe not 45. Okay. I was the only person in that room saying, yes, of course, this is urgent, this is important. We need to do 2030 if possible, but come on, like, the rest of the people, they were like, meh, I guess we'll have to do that. They were saying, okay, we could do it, but we don't have £100 million to do this. Because this entails, you know, a lot of construction, regeneration, and a lot of, you know, like resources to put into it. So what came to my mind at that point, if we're really relying on money to make the change that we need to bring, that can only mean one thing, and it's that economic system is broken, and we need to change it. And we can change it. There's amazing people, there's amazing organizations here today that are starting to bring to the conversation the circular economy ideas and the principle of the well-being economy. That is where we need to go. We cannot rely on GDP anymore. This may seem naive, this may seem crazy, but we need to do it, and we can give the voice to those people that are having the idea to do it and that they know they're putting effort to do it. So if there is one thing that I can tell today is that we need to change this, and it makes sense because it's just not working for us, is it? Otherwise I wouldn't be here talking about it. So yeah.
Thank you so much. So as you can see, we've got 3 amazing panelists, and I think at the core of what everyone has spoken about is this idea that right now our economy is not fit for purpose. What we're doing right now is we're driving failure demand, which pretty much means that we're spending so much money patching up social issues instead of tackling the root causes of them head on, and that does no one any good. We're all from different countries, we're all here for different reasons, but right now we have one united message, and that is we need to do more. And it's not us right now, right here, who needs to do more, it's world leaders who need to do more. They're all sitting in COP, around their little tables, talking all these talks, blah, 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 and not doing anything. And that is exactly why we're here today. And we're all really passionate about this. And I think, Anuna, do you want to just talk a bit more about what you've been doing in the COP rooms and what you've been doing in the negotiations?
So I'm a very lucky activist because there's many activists not here that should be here because of the unequal distribution of the vaccines. And this is one of the things that we have been really pressuring at COP is the fact that this is literally the most exclusive COP ever, although this is also one of the most decisive COPs. So what I've been doing is talking a lot with politicians one-on-one, but also in negotiations rooms. I've been calling out our Belgian ministers and Belgian prime ministers. They were not really happy with that. But we, as young people, have the credibility to be extremely blunt and extremely straightforward about what is happening right now. We are preaching about climate change, but we are putting targets for 2030 and 2050 that literally leaves millions of people behind. We are building walls to keep refugees out, and at the same time, we are causing the reason for them having to flee. We're investing millions of euros in renewables and then billions into the fossil fuel industry. So this hypocrisy needs to stop, and this is what I've been doing at COP with many other activists, with many other people from civil society. The power lays with the people. I've been experiencing that at COP, and this is why, once again, we need everyone to act.
Thank you, and I think you touched on a really key point there that Julieta raised as well. This is not an equal COP. We need the voices of Indigenous communities, Black communities, the Global South here. They are the ones who will be most affected by climate change. Their voices should be at the centre. And that's exactly what you said. And I think the point you raised about making sure that girls in school, they have the right to education is so important. What can we all do to make sure that we are allies in that?
So I'm thinking right now about a concept that I like to call a key concept, a golden concept, that is intersectionality. I'm pretty sure a lot of people here actually know about it, but I actually feel like I truly learned what it is not so long ago. So what is this thin line that separates what discrimination and violence is? We need to understand that if we talk about a climate crisis, yes, it's going to affect every one of us, but it's going to affect us differently. It's completely different to talk about a person that is living in a rural area than an urban area. If she's living in the north, in the center, the south, if she's young, if she's a girl, if she's part of a migrant community, we need to understand that these little details are not little. For example, what I see in my country is that I see a lot of people talking, but we already have laws, we already have public policies. They are completely general. They are completely general. We need to put a focus. We need to start to make focuses because if we don't have that, we're gonna leave so many people behind. There's something, and just to finish, because I know I talk maybe way too much. There's something that's called the Escazú Agreement. It's an international agreement that started actually my country, Chile, or actually not my country, my government, Chile. In Costa Rica, impulse, and it's a really important treatment that talks about transparency, talk about environmental education, and talks about protect the environmental defenders, defensores ambientales, the people that are in the communities, the people that today are being killed and are being persecuted, and they don't live in peace. So, actually, that's something that we all talk about. It's something that we need to be present, but you know, my country kind of moved forward. They talked about signing it, and then just disappeared. Yeah, it had been 2 years. We still don't have it. So I think that's what's important about. That's why we talk about intersectionality. That's why we talk about the Escazú Agreement. We talk about needed. It's not just putting pressure, but what can we do like us as civil society, we as part of the youth community, to basically moving all this forward and actually get to real changes, and not just superficial, but how can I call it, a systemic change in our realities.
Thank you so much. Incredible. Everything that you say, I'm just like, snap fingers, amazing. So thank you. Nella, a lot of what Julieta has just spoken about has been about empowerment and making sure that we incorporate those voices. In your position of being a union president, how do you think you can do that? How can we all learn from you?
The only way is to listen, and I think that is the only way. Not that we can change this, but that we can progress as a society. We need to understand what Julieta is talking about, what the conversations are all about. We need to educate ourselves on the oppressive forms of life that have been sustaining us for a while and that are just leaving a lot of people behind. There is not enough recognition and representations on the actually important conversation of these voices that are minimized. So how can we really change that? It's not about, inviting them to the COP26 and, giving them 10 minutes to speak about, their indigenous community. It's about actually bringing them on these rooms that are separate, like private, where, nobody knows what they're talking about. They're, making agreements, whatever. We need to get there if we want to change some things. And they are in the power of changing it, right? We, as a society, our interests, we need to choose who we are bringing to represent our interests in a way. So it is about bringing activists. It's about bringing to those people that really want to pass on the word and really trying to influence in a positive way to bring the change we need. We need to hear and listen and, maybe change something that we're doing. Maybe wrong. Be willing and open and accepting, because we all have things to say and we all have different backgrounds. So we need to find the common ground and listen to each other.
Thank you so much. And I think at the core of everything that we're saying, we need to be intersectional in what we're going forward and doing. The new system that's coming, it needs to have so many diverse voices. It can't be the pale male and stale. It can't be white, middle class, straight men. It needs to be people of all colours, all walks of life. And I think that's what is the key of this, and us being on the stage now, is that we're all talking because we all care about the people in our lives. We all care about the future. We all care about the citizens all across the world. And they all have to have the equal chance to flourish, regardless of what their background is, and there shouldn't be any barriers to stop that. So I'm going to now ask for closing statements from our amazing panel of just a few words of what you think. If you want everyone in this room to go away thinking one thing, what do you want?
So, Greta said before, a lot of people said before in the world of activism that this is way too much blah, blah, blah. But I want to tell you all that the persons that are in this panel, it's not just blah, blah, blah. It's not just blah, blah, blah. I know I'm so impressed. I've been working with people from Bolivia, Argentina, Colombia, Chile, for so many places from Latin America. It's so wonderful to see that there's so many people, like young people, starting their own initiatives and projects because they want to see real changes. But that shouldn't be happening. We start projects because we don't find spaces where we can actually, we don't feel secure now. We don't feel confident that we're gonna have a real presence. So a real important person for me, that it's not hearing me right now, but I know it's in my heart, told me not so long ago that everyone in the world has a breaking point. A breaking point is that one moment in your life that changes your life forever. In my case, was when I heard for the first time a young girl told me, I was 12 at the moment, she was 10, and she told me, I really want to get involved in the STEAM areas. I really like robotics. I would really like to learn something about that. But my dad told me that I can't. So he's my father, so maybe he's right. So I shouldn't do it. And that's something that, sometimes people think that happens way too much time ago, but it's happening every single day. But we can make a change. Civil society has an amazing opportunity, that is the opportunity to decide. You can decide what we want to change, how we want to change it. And right now, the world is changing so much. We are in the middle of a pandemic, but I know it's terrible. But in the other side, we are full of opportunities. There's so many people that are talking about the redesign of a new world, redesign our economy, redesign the politics, or the way we understand politics. But on the other side, who are the leaders of our world? Who do I want to follow? Why am I following them? If we understand that we as civil society, we as people have the right to choice, to decide, let's create the path for the people that today can't decide. Because they can... And just to finish with this, I can't ask a 14-year-old girl that is living in poverty to recycle, because she's thinking about how can I take bread to the table for the next day. So if you can have the opportunity to decide, to change, to vote, to do whatever you can as part of civil society, please do it. Because we need every single one of you. I need every single one of you. We need every single one of you. So let's do it, people. If it's not today, when? Lo podemos hacer juntos. Juntes.
Thank you so much. I'm Denisha, this is Julieta, this is Anuna, and this is Nella. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we're really, really grateful for this. Please take what we've said and take it seriously, and look at these amazing people on Twitter, social media, and follow what they're doing, because they are the next generation. Thank you guys so much.